You are not alone. Actually, it's quite the opposite. You are in the middle of a battle being fought by millions of men across this country and across the globe, most likely. Today, I want to show you how deep this runs and why it's not too late to take your power back. But let's first jump into the facts. Some of this stuff is absolutely mind blowing. Over 70% of men aged 18 to 30 watch porn every single month. 93% of boys are exposed to it before the age of 18. And that's before they even really know what sex is. I mean, that's just crazy. Pornhub alone gets 130 million visits a day. So you're talking about more traffic than Netflix and Amazon combined. And yet nobody talks about it. Everybody knows what the most popular show on Netflix is. So let's look at this a little bit more. Most users spend about 9 minutes per session, and that's about 1 or 2 hours a day on average. So that's about 1,000 hours a year. So 6 weeks of your life, poof, gone. 6 weeks of your life that you could spend doing anything else. I mean, just going for a walk would be better, honestly. Reading a book. Let's go. I mean, come on. And it's not about the time, really. It's about what the porn does to your brain. It increases depression, anxiety, lowers your self-esteem, even produces ED in a lot of people, unfortunately. It changes the brain, just like any drug or addictive behavior. So we got to stay away from this, guys. We really do. This is just a terrible thing that's happened to society. These aren't just numbers. They're real guys like me and you, though, however, that are struggling every single day. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, man, that really sounds like me, I just want to remind you that you aren't alone. You're not broken. You're not weird. You're actually in the majority. And there's a lot of truth in that. There's a lot of sadness, but there's a lot of strength in that. You're in part of the bigger picture. You're in the battle. So what you do now can change for millions of people because we're all dealing with the exact same thing. We've been going through it. No one's talking about it because we were taught to stay quiet, honestly, to bury it, to be silent. Because there's too much money to be made. There's too much profit to be made. There's too much control to be had. That shame you feel, the isolation, honestly, it grows in the dark. But this doesn't need to be something that is kept in the dark. We need to bring this to the light. The truth is, you are far from alone. Even if it feels like it, you're just not. You're in the majority. I've heard from guys all across the country in their teens, 20s, 40s. And a lot of them say the same thing. I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one struggling with this addiction. And it's the opposite of true. I don't know the exact stats, but if this many people are watching porn, I guarantee you it's the biggest addiction in our country. So let's let that sink in. There's the biggest pandemic of addiction in our country, and it's completely not being talked about. Let's just let that sit in for a second and think about it. This isn't about you. This isn't about me necessarily either. It's about waking up. It's about waking up to one of the biggest problems that our society is facing. And that's the porn addiction, honestly. I really believe that. That's why I'm going to continue to fight this battle every single day. Fight against the addiction of pornography, whatever you want to call it. We're not weak. We're just humans. And we've fallen into a matrix of lies and deception that we're alone, that it's not that bad, that it doesn't rewire our brains, but it does all those things. However, we aren't alone. And we can fight this together, honestly. Imagine if 80% of the population of males stood up and said, no, no more. These institutions would fall apart overnight. Let's do that. Let's unite over something that everybody can agree is terrible. Let's do that. Shanti, shanti, shanti.